to Advent of Code with OpenRefine day 5. In this case, although I've had a look at this puzzle, I have had quite a lot of thinking about it and worked out a strategy for solving it with OpenRefine. I haven't actually done the puzzle yet, so for the first time we're going to be seeing if I can actually get the right answer live, as it were. So the puzzle we have today is we've got stacks of crates, and a crane is moving one crate at a time from one stack to another stack, and we're going to get as our input for the puzzle essentially a list of the starting point for the stacks, and then we're going to have the instructions, and we have to say what the end point, what the arrangement of the stacks, in fact the top crate on the stacks, is going to look like at the end. So if we have a look at the puzzle input, you can see that we have the stacks at the top, and then we have the instructions. So when I first saw this, my first thought is I cannot see how OpenRefine is going to do this, but I have thought of a strategy. So let's start by bringing the data into OpenRefine, and actually what I'm going to do in the first place is bring in just the stacks. So I'm going to say this is a fixed width file, so we can just get the stacks in. So let's so those are the 9 columns, and I'm going to call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, which is the numbering from the bottom here. And I'm not going to ignore the instructions for the moment, so we're going to load only 9 rows of data, and actually we don't need that one, so 8 rows of data. I think we can load that. So this is code day 5. Okay, so we've got our columns in. So rather than keeping them in the square bracket notation, I think we might as well just turn them into the letters. So we can do that to start with. I'll just do a quick transform. So what we can do, find, and then we know they're all uppercase letters, so just find the uppercase letter in the column and extract it. So we'll apply that to all columns. There you go. Okay, so now we've got the letters. It's challenging to approach this in OpenRefine because OpenRefine works usually by manipulating a column, but the rows are always treated as separately. So while this looks like a grid where we can see like the top thing in each column, really these rows don't know about each other, so we can't do things like just move something from one column to from one row to another row. So when we operate on rows, they're kind of they're kept separate from all the other rows, and you can't kind of cross over between rows normally. So the way I'm going to approach this is actually put the stacks into a single cell, so rather than keeping them in these separate cells, and then merge the cells together, so we have a list of all the items in each stack in the list. There are different ways of doing this, so I'm going to do it by first of all transposing these into into a key value column. So we'll have let's say stack items, and I think we can do that. So now if we change this to a number, and sort this by number, smallest first, then we have these, so then we order those permanently, and we'll make these into records by blanking down. We'll join these together. Because we know each item is just one letter, I don't need to put a separator here. I know that it's just one character is one letter. So, and so now we have the 9 rows, and I'm going to just trim this because I don't really care about the blanks. I don't care that there are spaces. I don't need to track any of that according to the puzzle. So trim that, and then I want to move this back into columns. So there we have them. So what we should find is if we look at the input, like CSGB is this first set here. So yeah, we can see that's all worked okay. So let's just check another one. FPB HSN. FPB HSN. Okay. So the next step is to now I've got these, is to do the processes which look like this. So we have a move 2 boxes, and that's one at a time, or two items one at a time, from column 4 to column 2, or stack 4 to stack 2. So essentially in this case we can see the things at the top of the column are at the start of our string. So column 4, stack 4 is M and N on top. So when we're moving 2 from 4 to 2, we're going to move M first and then put that on there, and N second and put that on there. So we'll end up with M and N on top. So you can see that's at the start of this string. We've got M and N, and we're going to move that therefore to the start of this string, and that will then start NM because they're reversed, because they're moved one at a time. So how we're going to do it, we could do it by saying what we want to do is add the first 2 characters from here onto here, and then remove them from here, and that should work. So we can do that like transform. So we want to take the cells from column 4, from stack 4 dot value. So we want to do the substring of 0 to 2, is that right? And then we want to reverse that, so we can do that like this. So now we've got them in the opposite order, and then we're going to add that onto value. So that is taking the two characters from cell 4 and joining them and changing them into an array of one character per an array of characters, reversing that array because they're going to be reversed because we're moving them one at a time, joining that back together, and then adding that onto the front of the value because we're putting them on the top. So left hand side of our string is the top. And that will work, I think. But then we also need to do, what we can't do is also update 4 at the same time. So what we then need to do is to do another transformation on here, which is to remove that those two strings. So we get substring, and that will remove them. And that's that. So that's one move. And what we have to do is to do that for each of these instructions. So how are we going to do that? Obviously, not obviously, but I don't want to walk through these by hand like I've just done. So I want to find a way of taking these instructions and doing that process for each instruction. And I can do that. So if I have a look at the history of what I've just done, if I have a look at, so that stuff all at the top is just me rearranging into the cells that I've got, so we can ignore all that. These are the two important things here. So we have two operations, and one takes a substring from the start to the length of the number of things we want to remove. So that's this number here, 2, and then it takes that from the column 4, so that's this number here, and it adds it onto column 2, so it does the operation in column 2, which is this number here. And then we do on column 4, we do the substring, and this time we use, again, it's this value here, the number we're moving. So actually, if we can generate these instructions from this list, we could generate a set of instructions, and we can paste those instructions in this format into here. So that is the aim. So let's create another OpenRefine project. So we're going to paste that input in again. So second set of input, just the same as before. But this time we're going to skip the first 10 rows. First 9 rows. And we're going to, so let's call this column instructions. So got that correct now. So we can create that project. I don't know what that is. Okay, so we've got our 501 instructions, and what I want to do is to create some JSON that looks like this. And so I can, let's first of all split this up. So what's the best way of doing this? So transform. So let's say, well, actually we can do it by similar to how we did. So we 0 to 9. We'll just find the the digits in here, so we'll have 3 digits, and we'll join those together with a pipe character, and then we'll split these into several columns. Guess the cell type and the pipe. Okay, let's rename this number. That's the from, I think, from, so that's the origin, and that's the destination. I see we've got a column here. So some of them must be 2-digit numbers. Oh, stupid error. Right. Okay, go back here. Right. Okay, let's do this a different way. Match. So move D plus. I'll do that. This from to. Right. Okay, so that should be better. Join those together. Okay, and now split these out. That's better. So now we will rename these. So this is number, this is the origin, and this is the destination. Okay, and if we export with a template, we can start to build this code. So we start with a open square bracket, and then we want each instruction, so each row is going to generate 2 instructions. What we want to do is the column name should be so we do the operation on the destination column, so the column name is going to be cells destination. This is the origin, and this is the cells.number, and then I mean, it doesn't really matter what the description says, but let's keep it straight. So that's the origin, and that is the and then the next instruction is that's the cells.origin, cells.number, so anything inside these 2 curly braces is treated as grel. So that, if we look at it, should tell us, oh, that doesn't work because I've not put dot value on the end, so we just need to add dot value to all of these. In inside the curly braces, dot value. Okay. So hopefully that now looks right. So just put a bit of formatting in here. Row separator is fine. At the end we only need a closed square brace. So this should be so core text transform, column 2, grel, cells for value substring 02, split reverse blah blah blah. So let's have a look at what we got on the other one. So that looks right to me. Column 2, text transform, grel cells for value substring 02, split join reverse. And then the next one is column 4, value dot substring 2. So let's just check that that's come through. Column 4, value dot substring 2. And that's it. And then we're on to the next instruction generated by the next row. So that's from column. So this, reading this, this is saying that we're going to move 6 items from column 9 to column 7. So let's check that's what we're expecting. Move 6 items from column 9 to column 7. Okay, so if I export this, then that's opened in text edit. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Shame that I can't import this directly, but I can't, so just copy and paste that. So we now, I'm going to undo these 2 because obviously those are the first instructions. So I did those to see how it would work, but I don't want to do them twice because I've also got them that first row here is the same. So undo those. Now I can apply this and paste in that JSON that I generated, and that should perform all the operations. And then the last thing is what we need as an output is the which crate ends up on the top of each stack. So we need to generate a list of the first letters from each of these. Now I could read that off, but just for fun, let's do it as a custom text facet. So this would be, I think we do it with row dot cells. No, is it row dot columns names? Yeah, column names. So we can do it just a little bit fun. For each row dot column names, we're going to cells, and we'll call that a variable cn. We'll take the cells cn dot value dot substring 01 dot join. So that's the first character from each of the columns. Okay, so this hopefully will be our answer. Let's see, fingers crossed. That's the right answer. Excellent. So okay, so the crane doesn't work as we expect. So we do the same thing again, but moving a single crate, but they stay in the same order. So rather than reversing the order, we're going to keep the order. Okay, so that's straightforward to do because it's just the same as we've just done, although we need to undo all of those moves. But so we can come back to okay, let's go to here. So it's these two operations, but in here we've got the split reverse aspect, so we can take that out and apply the same again. Now, so actually, honestly, the easiest thing to do here would be to just do a find and replace here, I think. So replace that with nothing. So I think if we do that, I don't know if that's cheating. I could just generate the right instructions from here again. I could do exactly the same as I've just done, but that seems a little bit tiresome when I can just do it like this. So back to here. So now we're going to apply that, and then so we've taken out those. Oh, we don't need the join either. So that's just so we don't need the join. Right, let's try this. And so that facet, see, it was worth writing that facet because it updates automatically. And yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, I hope you'll excuse me using the find and replace there rather than regenerating the template, but I could have regenerated the template if I'd really felt like it. And that is day 5 done.